Hello, hello. How's everybody doing out there? Peasant Chat. We talk to poor people every Sunday. Well, and last week I was at Lund Racing for a week. Bunch of stuff going on. Had to get a brand new laptop. We upgraded hardware. We upgraded software. We got some Motec stuff tested out. So I wanted to make sure that I was up there for that. So I stayed there Tuesday to Friday. I also picked up the GT500 motor, and Nestor Barrios picked up the block, crank, and front cover. So that is officially out of here. All of the parts from Breadman are absolutely out of my life. And I hooked them up with somebody that I think that could do a decent job locally. The first person that actually built the motor, believe it or not, NPR, I think can help them out. But today what we're going to talk about in the Peasant Chat is, again, I'm kind of like salty on this situation. Like Ford has made so many missteps to denigrate the Mustang name. And now you're seeing, the same kind of rehashed stuff that we talked about a year or two ago where they're talking about a four-door Mustang. Now, would I support a four-door Mustang? Well, not if it's going to be like the Mustang Mach-E. So we're going to talk about what that could be, the offshoots, why name it a Mach 4, why name it weird stuff, why not just, I don't know. I'm one of these guys that I think Ford should take some direction from the Australian side. And because they're not making certain vehicles in Australia, you can borrow some of those names. We'll also talk about the EPA cutting 60% of its workforce. Lee Zeldin is on an absolute warpath. He's going to try to do his best to streamline that operation. I'll show you a clip where he's talking about telling the government to not fund the EPA until they have gone through all of their money that has been hidden, tucked away, given to NGOs. And then we'll catch up on what's been going on all week, but not before. Oh, shoot. Do I even have it here? Not before Mr. Bill O'Reilly tells us to do it live.
Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
It does suck, but you know what does not suck? Pmas. Sorry, Pmas. Nick James, the Pmas doesn't suck. Get their cold air kits. Every single person I usually tell to get a Pmas cold air above and beyond what they currently have marvels at how smooth it drives, and I tell them I don't promote it because they give me shit. I promote it because it's simply the best signal in the market. Pmas. Get yourself a Pmas cold air intake. DNAP Performance, DNAPperformance.com. DNAP Performance, get all your parts there. Fuel pumps, fuel systems, wheels, tires. Shit, you can even get cylinder heads. You can get whatever you want at DNAP Performance, DNAPperformance.com. You can even get Pmas stuff at DNAPperformance.com. Check them out. Get a mug after spending $1,000 at Amory mug. Bellac. Well, let's do PartsFarm. PartsFarm. PartsFarm.com. Use late model parts. You're going to use cranker pallets, wheels, tires, transmissions, body panels, you name it. They got it. PartsFarm. PartsFarm.com. To AutoSolutions. Rami Zaidan helping a brother out with a 20% overdrive for the Magnuson-equipped GT500. Still going to do some testing on that today. A lot to do on that. A lot to catch up on. And Bellac Industries. Bellac Industries. If you like selling drugs and you know it, clap your hands and get yourself a set of Bellac. I'm trying to minimize it, and it's just not cooperating with me. It's muscle memory. Like, I figured out the way I kind of do everything is 100% muscle memory. I don't, remember anything. It's just, the body automatically goes to these areas of the screen, and I forget where they are. Monty 540, oh shit, the live chat is not on. People start screaming because they don't see their name on their shit. Monty 540, TJ Skorsky, Nick, Coyote Kelly, Belovesh, Z33, Kemsa. Oh, by the way, you're going to go richprince.com/YDBT. You're going to get yourself hats. Guys, I bought myself a red Amory shirt. It looks fantastic. I am wearing the FCam Rizzy shirt, which is currently not there, but you might be able to ask them and get an FCam Rizzy. Sure, but you can get your hats, YDBT, Amory in different styles, flap rim, curve, Dolo. Do I have a Dolo hat? I'm not sure if I have a Dolo hat, but you get sweaters, stickers, get there. Go ahead and get yourself some merch, and I get paid. Let's be honest. I make money, and I get paid, and it supports the channel. Bryson Witt, John Jones, Bryson Witt putting up the Rich Prince and Patreon. Again, if you like after show content, Patreon is where it's at. That's where the Amory assembles. We defend bullshit on the internet. We talk shit. We talk guns. We talk conspiracy theories. We sell your parts and you show us your builds. Many chats. There's also a peasant chat for those of you that don't like to pay, and you're going to be there. Everywhere else has access for $15 a month. Joe Jackson, Scott Franks, Matt Oliver, The High Ground, Mark Christensen, Oliver Bryan, Clean 93 GT, Deuce Don, Anthony, Exxon Devil Dog, Phil Fez, YouTube Corral, Clint Stroke. Hey, Phil Fez, did you send that 50% overdrive? Let me know so I can look out for it so I can get the belt coming. JD Swag, Wesley Stewart, probably flawless. 50 Stanley, Robostyle Wood, Savar Martin, Nathan, Armirs are here, Alfredo Diaz, Jared Wells, the new dad, Redbird, Mr. Whipple, Anthony, Dustin Garrison, CPR Andrew, Big Block, Top, T-Top, SK Productions, Andrew Martin, 94 GT Vert, Rich 50, Cameron Summers, Jeremy Smith, Ale, Al Hosseini, Mr. Whipple, Gregory Elvis, Desert Ghost, T. Sikorsky, Christopher, JT, Jason Friedberg, Randy Savage, Jason again, Black Cat, Joe Swish, Concha, and all the usual suspects. I'll get the paid chats out of the way. Alex, do you think Ford will have been better off making a two-door Mach-E GT look like a Mustang, but it's an EV that can run an 11-second quarter mile? That is a very good point. We'll talk about why I think a lot of the stuff that they did is kind of stepping on their own toes. Corn-fed cow gave me some money. Craig Walls in the house, Jason Friedberg, Toilet Dumper, and Anthony. Okay, so another article, another day, another article, another day, another article talking about a four-door Mustang. This was used before. I remember seeing this picture, and I'm like, wait, are they trying to like get some BS now saying like, hey, maybe a Mach 4 sedan? So because they trademark stuff and people look at what patents and trademarks people apply for, they start asking, well, is Ford going to do this? Well, Ford didn't necessarily trademark or patent something so that they can make something. It's more so that people don't take something. Case in point, the Mach-E. Tesla was going to actually make a Model E so they can spell Model S, Model E, Model X, Model Y. Sexy. But Ford trademarked the model, the E name, the Mach-E they were going to use. So now Tesla could not use the E variant in electric, so they had to put the 3 spelling sexy kind of funky. Is Ford developing a four-door Mustang? Mach 4 sedan trademarks and dealers leaks suggest it is. Motor Trend 3 days ago. Ever since Ford CEO Jim Farley said that the automaker could do other Mustang body forms beside the traditional two-door coupe and convertible models, there have been talk of four-door Mustang coming at some point. In a new rumor was a trademark of filing are to be believed. We might be closer to that future. But the problem is right there. Right in front of you, what I'm looking at is where they fucked up. They already have a four-door Mustang. This is where Ford sounds stupid. Is Ford going to make a four-door Mustang? Well, wait a minute. This is a Mach-E. According to you, Ford, this is a Mustang, right? According to you, Ford, not me. I don't think this is a Mustang. I think this is a piece of shit. But all of a sudden, now we are led to believe that now they're going to make a four-door Mustang. Well, what the fuck is this thing? Ford, what the fuck is this? Is this a four-door Mustang? Fuck, if you actually believe Ford said this is a Mustang, well, you already have a four-door Mustang. Weird. Now, Ford, you're sounding weird if you're going to actually make a Mach 4 V8 Mustang. But let's keep talking. The Drive reports that Ford recently held a private dealer event in which renderings of the Ford Mustang sedan were shown. You mean that? Naturally, phones and cameras were not allowed at the event. So this is all coming from Ford dealers in attendance are choosing to remain anonymous. 2 of the dealers were revealed that Ford referred to the Mustang sedan as a Mach 4 because the puns are great. No, they're not! Ford is fucking stupid with their naming structure. Guess what has 4 doors, a V8, and is already a Ford vehicle? This stupid thing in Australia. Australia. This currently existed. They canceled it. The Ford Falcon, right? Ford could easily take the name. Look at that. You're telling me if they make it look something like this, they're missing out on an opportunity. This car is ugly. This is fucking ugly. I don't care what anyone says. This car, this car, this car. That's not. These cars down here are fucking ugly. This one looks halfway decent, right? Just the lights and it looks good. This looks like shit. It's really awful. But the missed opportunity of Ford of calling something a Falcon. Apparently, Ford didn't stop at the Mustang sedan. The automaker also previewed a off-road Mustang. Oh my God, what? Wait a minute. You're making an off-road. I'm blown away that Ford is just throwing shit out there and see what sticks. An off-road Mustang. The automaker also previewed an off-road Mustang, an EcoBoost powered RTR Mustang, and a V8 powered Mustang convertible with a manual transmission. Although the last combo is currently available for 2024. Maybe it was a drop top position in the GT trim. Assuming everything shown in the rendering merely described verbally, then it could be quite a while before Ford is ready to publicly share what that group of dealers has already seen, but never say never. Ford or Mustang wouldn't be terribly difficult to pull off. Imagine Ford merely stretched the S650 generation platform, extended the wheelbase. Asshole! Ford called this a Mustang. This is my problem. Ford, you already called this a Mustang. Oh no, we mean non-electric. Holy shit. Extending the wheelbase and adding a rear door, the door glass could be kept frameless. I know. You long-winded. They just need to fill the article with bullshit. So basically, what they're saying is Ford could pull it off. Again, this is my problem. If this exists, you cannot call this a Mustang. I repeat, if you say this is the first four-door Mustang, we're going to call it a Mach 4. What the fuck is this? So that is where the issue lies, and I don't think Ford lives in an area where people are really open to criticize their naming structure. Understand, Ford, you already called something a four-door SUV a Mustang Mach-E. Now you're going to call something a Mustang Mach 4, and it's going to be a V8, supposedly, Charger-esque four-door Mustang. Not tunable, let's be honest. And I talked to the Lunds just to see if there's rumblings, tremors, underlying hints as to 2024 Mustang being tunable yet. No. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not being tunable, but we haven't heard one motherfucking thing.
Not one motherfucker!
Nothing. So if you think, according to what we hear, because they're, I think some of these companies are goofy. I think some of these companies go out of their way to thwart the Lund name. It's interesting. Like, there are other companies that carry multiple tuning products on their shelf. SET, HP Tuners, and we have the LRX. So why not give us that same treatment? But it's weird. Like, if for a while we were locked into one, and then we just simply open the door for others to put us in the same boat, it's almost like people get salty. And I'm just like, well, wait a minute. Everyone else has that. And there's even there's even more devices that other people support that we don't. So I thought it was an interesting thing that you could almost see that there is a hesitance to work with certain people based on the fact that, we are not locked into one specific software. Now, let's be honest. I am a lightning rod when it comes to this. So if they're like, hey, I don't like the fact that this guy talks shit, no problem. Let me go and I'll talk all the shit and I'll work for nobody. If it means they have the most access, because for the better good, I'll fall on the sword. No problem, because then I can really say what I want to say on shows like this. There are certain things that I don't talk about that I know of because it doesn't serve a purpose, but I digress. So because there is no future tuning on the horizon, in the future for a 24 Mustang, I don't give a fuck how many doors it has. I don't care how many doors it has. I don't give a fuck I don't care what it is. If I can't tune it, you're just going to see a Whipple-equipped Shelby, a Whipple-equipped Hennessy. Did you guys see that? That is your future, guys. The future of the Mustang is stuck on one or maybe two power adders that are not custom tuning available. And people will literally tell you, run E30. Run E30. No problem. Run E30. It'll make 800 horsepower until it doesn't. Pull the plugs after an E30 pull. Yeah, go ahead, put 93 octane, then make the blend, put the lab coat on, 30% ethanol, make 1,000 wheel, and then pull the spark plug. And tell me how that combustion event looks. You okay with that? Right out, brother. But because there's no tuning over the horizon, I'm not excited for anything. I'm not excited for anything Ford. Talking to a local guy, the guy with the notch, he owns Fords, Chevys, and Dodge vehicles. And he's like, Chevy's killing it right now. And I'm like, right. Chevy, with Global B being able to be tuned, maybe not to the full extent of what the possibilities are, but the fact that you can tune a brand new Z06, the fact that you can tune an E-Ray natively, the fact that you can tune a what do you call it? A CT5 Blackwing, anything, and an Escalade, anything V8 supercharged or NA that Chevy has can be tuned. Ford, you cannot. So they're going to be stuck on one power adder, and I don't care how many doors the thing has. So it's something that I don't really look to as in terms of excitement. I'm not excited. Ford is not making exciting products. Every single time you see yet another Ford Mustang variant, it has a Whipple supercharger. At this point, it's kind of laughable where you're like, what Whipple supercharged car with different badges are you going to introduce next? RTR, fucking Hennessy, Shelby. Shelby literally did the biggest mistake by saying, here's the king of the road with a Shelby, with a Whipple supercharger. Oh, by the way, here's a GT350. The same car with maybe slightly different wing. This is the biggest issue with Ford when it comes to the Mustang market. Now, truck stuff, completely different ballgame. But I still don't see 24 truck tuning over the horizon. I don't see Mustang GT tuning 24 and up over the horizon at all. So I'm not excited. Are you excited when you hear this stuff? How do you take these news? Are you guys looking at these news and going, oh my God, I can't wait to... Or do you go, if it's not able to be tuned, then who cares? Now, that's the lens I view everything through. What I do for a living. Can I tune it? Can you tune it? Can you get it on E85? Can you make an NA Cargo 10s? Can you change the throttle body configuration, have a tune ready? Can you put twin turbos or return style fuel system, ID 1700s or ID 2000s, and get after it? Or can you install a trans brake and an aftermarket converter and manipulate the shift schedule and the lockup? Let's just dumb it way down. Forget turbo supercharger. Can you manipulate the trans calibration enough to, let's say, have a positive effect in terms of performance? And let's say you slap on a Circle D or whoever, Pro Torque, or whoever decides to make a converter for these cars, Suncoast, valve body. Can you then adjust the tuning parameters to maybe have the transmission shift better? No? Then why the fuck would you buy this car? Has anyone seen a manual Gen 4 Mustang run a number? Have any of you noticed that when you do a hard 1-2 shift, the brake lights turn on? Do you think that's the guy hitting the pedal, or do you think there's some ghost in the machine when you do a hard 1-2, the brake lights turn on? I've been watching that and I'm like, that's tuning. It's probably some torque reduction silliness or some kind of acceleration rate that the car does not like. And it goes, well, hit the brakes here because this is not a happy camper. We'll talk about it and we'll catch up on what's been going on during the week. Michael Locks says, probably flawless, says, single-handedly butchering the car got them their reputation from enthusiasts. What was the name of the motor the AU Falcons had? The Hialeah? It was the California? A low compression Coyote, if I'm not mistaken. Put a Barra in it. 6-cylinder. Shut up. Put a Barra in it. This guy said put a Barra in it. Why would you want to put a Barra in anything? This may be the beginning of Mustang becoming a separate brand. I believe that's the case. So only because I've been through it. When I bought, again, this is a piece of junk car, I get it, but it opened my eyes. When I bought the Genesis R-Spec, the 2012 Genesis R-Spec, I actually really liked that car. It was a V8 direct injected with a 6-speed or a 7-speed. And I thought, with a Coyote at 850, 900 wheel through an auto, this thing is going to be badass. It handled well. It was nice. It was big. It was a comfortable car. Got laid in the back seat. Good time. Problem was it was perforated seats, right? So the perforated seats got the culo juices in there. And then once in a while, I'd be like, coño, apesta culo. And it's because you nutted in the back. And somebody was out there, juices went, you know what I mean. Anyway, when I went to get my oil changed, because it was complimentary, you went to the Hyundai dealership, but the Genesis department. And I went, so Genesis is a separate brand? So they actually treated you differently if you had a Genesis. So it was a Genesis R-Spec. So you're in there with the G60, 70, 80s, whatever variants they had at the time, and the new cars that were coming out. They separated the Hyundai Genesis brand and started saying Genesis is its own thing. So I think Mustang as its own thing could be the future of this car. But again, if you are not able to tune this car, you're going to see the popularity dwindle. And if you think by adding a door or two or a hatch or an electric motor or anything like that is going to save the brand from its abysmal sales in 2024, I don't think that's going to happen. I could be wrong. And the people go, finally, a sedan with a V8. Can you tune it? Because what are we going to have? Whipple supercharged 4-door Mustangs that, are stuck on one power adder? I mean, sure. I'd rather just buy a V2 CTS. Actually, the guy that I talked to has a V2 CTS, and he might be selling it. And I'm like, and it already chops. It's already a 9-second car on nitrous. On blower, it goes 10s. And I'm like, this might be my future ride right here because I'm looking at it and I'm like, if I'm going to buy something, it'll be something like that. Because we talked about chopping like a motherfucker on Clematis. Crazy stuff. Hennessy selling a door course with a Whipple and a body kit for $165,000 is complete insanity. Mustang. Hennessy Mustang. Super Venom. The Super Venom. Hennessy comes to you. Introducing the Super Venom. What's different about this Mustang than any other Mustang on the planet? The body kit. This stupid fender thing. The wing. And the wheels. And I guarantee there is literature in here that talks about their custom calibration. Let's read it. Tuning. After a After a lab-based evaluation, development moves to Hennessy, performance various on-site dyno base for live assessment, the final phase of tuning has developed for this model. The Dark Horse test at the Pennzoil Proving Grounds. Oh, Lord. The final phase performed to evaluate the performance engineers. R&D testing for stock throttle body performance. Get the fuck out of my face, bro. Get out of my face with this dumb shit, bro. Like you gotta be the goofiest of all goofy. You gotta be so Arab that because Arabs keep Hennessy alive. Let's be honest. Arabs go, hey man, habibi. It's not the same. Whatever. Hey man, did you hear? Hey man, did you hear? Hennessy finally unlock the potential of the new 24 Mustang and say, now we have real performance. We are going to finally have Hennessy, the god of all gods. The tuning god of Qatar. Finally. The Arabs literally keep Hennessy alive. Like, when I see Joe Rogan's like, oh man, let's talk about your car. I'm like, boy, don't you know that... Tell me what Hennessy is good at. We put... Okay. You ever heard of a Raptor? Yeah? Well, check this out. We put 2 more tires and wheels on the Raptor. Holy shit, you made it a 6x6? Well, technically, all of the rear wheels don't drive themselves. They're not. Anyway, there's just a dummy axle in the back doing its thing. And I'm like, well, what performance does it have over the regular 4-tire Raptor? There's more tires on it. Do you imagine slapping 2 more fucking wheels and tires on a Raptor and saying you did something? What does it do better than the Raptor? Actually, it's measurably worse than the regular Raptor. Yeah, but look at it. It's got. Do you know when you drive your 6x6 down Clematis? Do you know what word comes out of everyone's mouth to describe you? It's not cool. It starts with an F. So when I hear Hennessy, I laugh. I go, oh, nobody takes that shit serious, bro. Like nobody, but the people that, the low IQ, the mouth breathers, the ones that don't know anything, go, oh, finally Hennessy got involved. Get the fuck out of here. The Broncos becoming its own name brand. You mean V3, right? Yeah, V3. Sorry, I keep saying V2. I'm sorry. It's a CTS-V coupe, the Batmobile. So the guy that I helped tune, again, guys, you got to remember, the notchback video that I released yesterday, that motor was in Jean Grey. Rest in peace. Jean Grey, dead dad in the trunk. These arms are looking saucy. What's going on here? Anyway, and then it went into Fairmont, and then it went in this car, and it made 960 rear-wheel horsepower on a hub dyno. I get it. So call it 920 on a chassis dyno. And I didn't think it would make 900 shit through a manual because everything else had an auto in it. So that's serious power. 2.9 upper. He could still go 2.6. He could still go 2.8. But let's keep it at the 2.9. And with the 3.5, it made 800. So he's happy at 800 because it's just perfect. It hooks in second. He's a happy dude. So he has a V3 coupe, not the sedan. I want the sedan. But if I can come across a V3 coupe, cammed, worked, sound system, modified, vetted, bro, stop it. Of course I'll get it. I'll take the Steeda one. If I had to buy one, they stole the Steeda design. That's a great point. See, the Steeda, the best out of the three, and I know you guys are going to be like, oh, what the fuck is this? Steeda Mustang. That's just Steeda.com, and it should be on the front page. I hope. Vehicles? Project vehicles? Steeda, what? Why doesn't it have the Mustang right in the front? Like, maybe it's the announcement. Here you go. Oh, no, this one's a Steeda Dark Horse. The 2024 Steeda Dark Horse is up for grabs. It's not a bad-looking car, to be honest with you, but Steeda Mustang package. Steeda Mustang. Here it is. Shit. The Q850. If you're going to buy one of these brand new variants, and again, Steeda does not pay me. They probably hate my guts. But if you're going to buy a new variant of Whipple-equipped Mustangs, the Steeda Q850 is the one. And look at what Hennessy did. They literally ripped it right the fuck off. I mean, literally ripped it right the fuck off. They just said, oh, that looks good. Let's put the word Super Venom on the bottom. The front, yeah, it's like a couple of different, body parts, but at the end of the day, it's literally that. Maybe the wing is different, but the inspiration for that vehicle was definitely, in my opinion, stolen from Steeda. And Steeda, in my opinion, has the best one out of all the variants because they actually go out there and race the car at Sebring test. They got a competent driver, competent staff, and I think they do a really good job with their turning shit. Super Venom, Super Gay, Ultra Venom, Maximum Over Venom. The final upload of Whipple Tunes probably has red suspension parts like the 350. What's happening? Just popped in, says Mr. Vinny. The tuning god of Qatar. Glad to have you back, Alex. Look, I'm trying to make you guys laugh. When I'm gone for a week, I could tell you guys missed the kid, so I get it. Bro, you know about the Arabs and Hennessy? That's actually even true. Even their car pages mention it like the second coming of Christ. Mad Lab, the reason I think Hennessy even exists is because of the Saudi Arabians, and I don't want to say it like it's you guys are stupid. You are unaware that there are better options out there. But Hennessy's like, it's Hennessy. Bro, we're Hennessy. And I'm like, cool story. You don't make anything above and beyond what any other shop could do. But the Saudis go, I want to have it because maybe the name over there, Hennessy, is a big deal. Like, okay, what is a German car that is in the United States that is regular, that we lust after, Americans lust after, but in its country of origin, it's regular traffic? Like legit regular traffic. Tell me. A BMW product, a Porsche product, Mercedes. Probably Mercedes products. The reason I say this is because taxi cabs are like S550s over in Germany and Europe generally. But when they come here, oh, it's a status symbol. Holy shit, look at that. So maybe in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, Dubai, Hennessy matters over there. Whereas here we go, big deal. I guarantee there's a car here. I'll give you a absolutely perfect example. The Crown Victoria. If you're Australian and you fly to the US and you land in New York City and it's 2012. Oh, mate, look at that. What's picking us up? Oh, bloody Crown Vic. Oh, shit. You get in it. Oh, mate, this thing's amazing. Oh, I can't. I wish we could get lays down by. And we're like, bro, that's a fucking Crown Vic. It's a taxi. You can get them for $1,800 with 350,000 miles. Oh, blimey! Look at the fucking Crown Vic. Crown Vics, Crown Vics, Crown Vic. And then they see like an Impala. You know, the Chevy SS Impala cop car looking thing, whatever. Holy shit, crikey. That's right. Robo, crikey. Look at all these V8 sedans in the US, right? And we're like, so I suspect that there are cars in America when they land overseas, people lose their fucking shit. Oh, my Crown Vic in the wild. Like, what are you doing? So maybe Saudi Arabians and people in Dubai, hey man, did you see the new car Habib got? Mohammed, what did he get? Wait for it. Oh, man. Look, you're going to be shocked what he got. What did he get? Tell me what he got. You're going to be mind blown. Nissan Altima 3.5 SL. Oh, shit! Did he pay the import tax? I don't know. But man, he is wild. He has the best cars. Next to the Impala SS is a Nissan Altima 3.5. Then the crown jewel of the collection. Are you sitting down? Mohammed, I am sitting down. A Chevy Tahoe. Oh, shit! I am telling you, he has the best collection in the UAE. Nobody... I don't know what they get excited for over there. It's ridiculous. Just got my Section 8 hoodie in the mail from the giveaway deal, says William R. That shit's dope. Playing the kid, because it's good to have you back. Good to be back. Brooklyn guy, $20. Bro, stop it. The Caprice PPV is an Australian Commodore. They call it Super Venom, but it's a dark horse, not a Shelby. I think because Hennessy contracts shops out to produce their packages. Same for Sheepy built twin turbo Lambs and Audis, UGR, and others. All contract shops solely do their builds? What do you mean? Are you saying, again, these are your words, not mine. Are you saying Hennessy does not slap on the body kit? Mohammed, this car is the bump, says Anthony. Very good. The best name to revive is the Crown Victoria. Didn't Hennessy scam the shit out of customers back in the day? Those that know, Google away, type in that name, do some reading. I don't forget that shit. $200,000 is what you have to pay to get an import a decent R34 GTR with 992 Turbo S being what it is. I don't understand what anyone would want a 25-year-old GTR. Rad Dad is rad. Because you can make the car pretty damn fast for relatively cheap money. Oh, wait, R34. I'm sorry. Look, you got to understand. I don't give two shits about any of those cars. So maybe you guys were... See, I'm 47. So I'm older than most of you. Fast and Furious was a comedy to us, right? If you're 45 3 and up. Fast and Furious was hilarious. None of us looked at that and went, that is cool. None of us looked at those cars and said, I want that car. None of us looked at any of the series and thought, I want to build that. If you did, nothing wrong with that. You're just gay. But when it comes to like an older crowd, we don't look at those cars and lust after them. I see a orange Supra with this shit on the side. I laugh my ass off. But then in the same breath, if I see a DeLorean with the Back to the Future livery, I lose my fucking mind. So yeah, it's a generational thing. Morning, Alex just got back from vacation in Hollywood. You went to Hollywood Beach? Beautiful there. And the people were super nice. Had a blast. 80-degree weather. I don't know why you're not here. Hollywood's a little sus, though. You got to be careful in certain areas. See Misha building a dark horse? Yes. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Introducing my new car for me. This for the channel. A dark horse Mustang. And I go, what are you going to do? Put steer suspension on it and brakes? Yes. And then, okay, now I'm going to... because the Nürburgring is his playground, he is going to FAFO real quick that his dark horse being NA and underpowered because the UK and Europe cars have like gasoline particulate filters. We'll talk about that though. Don't let me forget about Lee Zeldin, EPA, GPF, DPF. He's going to find out real quick, this car is pretty good, but it's not really fast. So how can we hey fans, how can we make this really fast? Let me see my options. Whipple, Whipple, and another Whipple. That's interesting. Why is only Whipple available for this? Okay, I guess I gets me Whipple. Goes out there by the 6th minute or the 5th minute or the 7th minute of the Nürburgring, you start hearing a little grumbling coming from the engine bay and you're like, what is this? And then you data log it and the car's IATs are 180 and you're like, maybe we have to turn the fans on sooner to maybe, interesting. So you need a custom tune to optimize the car in the specific racing arena that you're in. You'd better keep that car NA and hope that the Ford tune is enough to get you content on that channel. It's going to be very difficult to make content on that car. I'm talking about Camelland in the East. 2650 over the Whipple all day, every day. You saw Bryson, this is the problem with people that don't understand how good the 2650 is. It doesn't make the same horsepower as the Whipple. Then race one. It's not all about horsepower, peaky horsepower. It's all about when the power comes in and how it's usable. Bryson will go for us pretty soon. R34 is still one of the best handling cars of all time. They make insane power. Still, haven't had a laugh all week till today. Bro, nothing logical about buying a 90s JDM car aside from maybe an NSX, Red That Is That. It's just what motherfuckers want. Or a 240. I literally found out yesterday a 240 is the Japanese Fox body. Right? I literally found out yesterday. It's the Japanese Fox body. It's light. It's everywhere. Plentiful, LS this, Coyote that, making a race check. It's like that desirable. And believe it or not, if a Fox body guy wanted to get into JDM stuff, the 240 would be the one to do, in my opinion. But Alex, the Door Course in Blue said it defined every new car generation. Hey, did you guys notice? Can somebody do me a favor? So, didn't Derek Barron did his rap career die? Because I went on his channel last week. And I could not find the song where he fucks for free. Can someone do me a favor and send me a link? They opened up a whole new market by putting out a Hennessy and Apple Juice edition. I make fun of Fast and Furious guys. I need 1,000 horsepower on 91 Ron. Alex, you don't understand. I need fans on like the moment key forward, fan on 100%. Why? Hold on. Wait. It is. Wait. It is 50 Celsius here. And I go, yeah, I don't know what the fuck that means. What's that in America? Oh, Alex, in morning, 50 degrees Celsius. I make eggs on asphalt. I go, 50 sounds pretty low. Oh my God, Alex, you have no understanding. It's so hot. So what do you want me to do? Key on, fan on, 100%. Okay. Hey, how come my IATs are fucked up? Because it's 50 Celsius where you live. But it ain't worth $100,000, let alone $200,000. Well, I'm 54 and I watched the original movie and didn't want a car from it. The Dodge Charger RT. I didn't like that one either. I didn't like any of those cars. I didn't like the stupid wheelie. Like nobody believed that. Nobody believed that. And then when the amount of nitrous kits, I'm like, get the fuck out of here with this bullshit. Yes, S13 Jet Fox 97 240 SX is the golden era 97 240 SX. Fuck SX. So this is apparently, and again, you guys put me on game. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is the car. This is literally the car that the guy I was hanging out with yesterday goes, if I was going to build anything, it'd be this. And it's like that era's Fox. And it's just, it's a pretty car. It's light and highly configurable. So this car is literally a set of wheels and a slight body modification and a lowering kit away from looking really good. So, you know, he's like, hey, if I'm going to fuck with these cars, I'd rather fuck with this generation of cars. And they're plentiful. They're everywhere. Guys, grab one and just put it in storage in case you do. You know, because I guarantee these are going to become scarce. And like the Fox body, all of a sudden people are going to start asking for a premium. People are going to go, wait a minute, this is a fucking 240 or why is it so expensive? Just like, wait a minute, this is a notchback AC delete car. Why the hell is it so expensive? It's just people. That's all that's all people want. Checking in, bitch. Good to have you back. More people, more booze. All day long with these tiny motors and people with car payments. All good though. Here are, okay. 240SX has a 4-bolt 4-link conversion from IDS. I got the Fox body stuff from S chassis stuff, right? What Phil Fez said. What did Phil Fez say? 240SX has a bolt-in 4-link conversion from IDS. Wow, really? Okay, so I get it. And I understand why people would want to build one. 120 degrees or so, exactly. Did you talk about the bolt-in Roadster shop? Yes, I talked about it when it was introduced like 2 months ago. Love the RX-7 in the beginning. The lighting was pretty cool. Wheelie and burnout. 97-240 is the kooky front. Okay, gotcha. I never bothered to watch Furious. I always thought that the movie looked stupid. Every time I see a clip from it, it confirms that it's stupid. So what year did Fast and Furious come out? What year did Fast and Furious come out? 2001, so 24 years ago. So I was 23. Yes. And it was awful. I was 23 years old. It was the worst piece of shit I've ever seen. I went to the theater to see it. And I'm like, this is the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen. But then, what year did... that was my metric. My metric was The Matrix. That was the problem with Fast and Furious. When I saw The Matrix, everything else was shit in comparison. And I was like, this movie better blow my mind. And not many car movies, I've never seen a good car movie. And unfortunately, the most popular car movie is Fast and Furious. Movies is Fast and Furious, and they're absolute shit. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Lee Zeldin, and he is now a favorite of ours. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I actually love the EPA administrator. Listen to this.
My message to Congress is don't even send us all of those tens of billions of extra dollars. I internally want to make sure that we're finding efficiencies as it relates to our travel, our real estate footprint, grants, contracts, and we're also going to be saving money with regards to staff. We had hundreds of people take President Trump's fork in the road, voluntary early retirement. There were some probationary employees who were terminated as well. Others resigned, retired. We're going to continue pursuing those efficiencies.
You know, for those of you that follow politics, I didn't think, okay, so I knew Trump being voted in was going to be very good for the country. I didn't think it was going to be this good. it was such a mind-blowing sea change of the thought process of what's going on that it just kind of, you wonder if it's real. He says in that post, in 2024, the EPA spent tens of billions of dollars. This year, we will cut at least 65% of EPA's total spending year over year. The EPA will take all steps necessary to be as efficient as possible for you, the American taxpayer. Do I want dirty rivers? No. So that's the EPA's job. Do I want chemical disasters to go unchecked? No, that's the EPA's job. And that's the EPA's job to make sure people like that are compliant. It is not the EPA's job to tell people in North America, listen to this, guys. And I literally just found this out. If you buy a brand new F-250, F-350, F-450, and it is sold to you in the United States, it has a DPF. But they don't have that in Canada. Make it make sense. Is it a per capita thing? Is it a congestion thing? Is it a population thing? So you could literally live in Oregon, Michigan, Vermont, any of the northern states, Buffalo, New York, Buffalo, share a border with Canada and have the same vehicle layout. One has a DPF, the other one does not. So I go, okay, so a US-based diesel truck has to have a DPF. And you know the issues and the power loss and the lack of efficiency. I would think that a diesel truck that gets an extra 4 miles a gallon or 5 because it does not have a DPF over the life of the vehicle is probably more efficient than one that has a DPF, captures the carbon, soot, has to get it cleaned out, has to use DEF fluid. So there has to be a study in that, like a Doge of that. They say they have all the emissions control in Canada. Now, call me crazy. I heard different. So maybe somebody can correct me because I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not a big proponent of diesel stuff because I think that is the worst vehicle to advocate for because of the visual, the soot coming, the tuning that makes the soot even more pronounced, I think is anti-tuning. So if you see a visual representation of pollution, diesels are it when the tuner optimizes soot. So I'm not an advocate for any of that stuff. So from what I've heard is that in Canada, there is no particulate filter. I could be wrong. And in the US, there is. So, and again, if I'm wrong about that, no problem. I'm not looking to die on this hill. But the fact that it is different at all in tuning or whatever literally blows my mind if that's the case. That, let's say, a Canadian F2 or 3 or 450 with the same high output 6.7 has a different calibration than the US one. It makes no sense to me. Here we go. Carb thing. Too bad you can't sue for catalytic converter DPF doing damage to vehicles. EGR is a major failure point. They don't have the same emissions controls for the military. Yeah, the military is different though, because heaven forbid you have an off-road H-pipe on your Coyote with E85 and a Corberjet intake. Heaven forbid. But you can take a missile that costs $1.5 million and kill some fucking nobody in the middle of nowhere and like just make him mincemeat. And you flew a plane up in the air, diesel or kerosene or whatever fuel they use on whatever plane you're using. It flew overhead or a Predator drone. Soup, boom, made that guy roast beef. and that's fine. But heaven forbid you have an off-road exhaust on your weekend cruiser / race car that has a VIN number in it. It doesn't make any sense. Been seeing a lot of Gen 2 Voodoo motors destroying bearings while I was researching 350s. Looks like high revving motors are destined to destroy bearings. That's why I'm not a big fan of the 350s for road racing purposes. I think the 350 is novelty. I think the 350 is great. I think the 350 should not be road raced a lot because you're going to blow up the motor. That's just how it is. The way Canadian geese poop in the street sidewalk, Canada needs to be fined. Nice. Mechanically identical, I work on them. Mechanically identical. Okay, so maybe it's the calibration JSE Decker. Certain provinces have strict emissions, most don't. I learned that from Daily Driven Exotics. The Wraith and Charlie Sheen was the best car movie. That movie, if words that are now becoming okay to say again, like the word retarded is okay to say again. But if you watch The Wraith, the words that, this is the 80s. The 80s were great. ST Performer says, Super Duty trucks exported to Canada have the same emission controls at the U.S. truck. Canadian EPA just doesn't care if you remove it all. Gotcha. Understood. But is the calibration different? Meaning the need for regen, the amount of def that it uses. Is the calibration in Canada the same as the calibration in the USA? Would be interesting to know. Woods, my AMG C63 also does that, and it's from Canada. Rolling coal is gay. Proper tuning and no emissions is trash. Trash is more efficient and cleaner. Most provinces don't have emissions tests, and none have enforcement besides BC and Ontario, British Columbia and Ontario. Mind you, we send a lot of ordnance into dirt simply for training. Ideally, a 2010 Crown Vic. I'm astounded they never caught anyone in those things. Tough as hell and don't handle bad for a tank. Ideally, a 2010 Crown Vic, and I'm astounded they ever caught anyone in those things. Oh, gotcha. Every time a tank starts, a fish dies. End users should be fined for not tuning companies. Finding tuning companies is like finding Jack Daniels for drunk drivers. Well, if I'm not mistaken, Mexico attempted one of the most hilarious lawsuits ever. Let me see. Mexican president sues gun manufacturers? Gun manufacturer? Ah, yes. Here we go. This is something that came out that made me laugh so hard. Okay. Listen to this stuff. And again, this is kind of all about government shit. Arizona, U.S. gun companies are asking the Supreme Court this week to stop an unusual lawsuit from Mexico, a case that coincides with a critical moment for relations between the two countries. This article came out today, 5 a.m. Wow. My timing is impeccable. The lawsuit seeks to hold major firearms manufacturers accountable for gun violence in Mexico. Not the people pulling the trigger, not the cartel, the gun manufacturer. Testing long-standing protections from liability for the nation's firearms industry as President Donald Trump separately promises to take on Mexican drug cartels and illegal immigration. Trump is adding the U.S. troops to the southern border, threatening to impose tariffs in Mexico as soon as Tuesday, and the same day the lawsuit against the gun makers will be argued in the high court. For years, Mexico's drug cartels have obtained most of their guns from the United States, according to U.S. and Mexican officials, in what anti-violence activists refer to as Iron River of weapons. So Mexico is literally doing that. They are, instead of fining the end user or jailing the end user, they're saying the manufacturer of these weapons should be penalized. Now, there was a movie where Gene Hackman, rest in peace, Gene Hackman dying. Gene Hackman, lawyer gun movie. Runaway Jury. This is a wonderful movie if you want to see how someone can be a manufacturer can be held liable for a person's accusations. In this movie, the synopsis of the movie literally states where they want to make Colt or a big gun manufacturer liable for the death of somebody that used their product. So, like you said, it's like people finding Jack Daniels for someone getting drunk and causing a drunk driving accident, as opposed to the person themselves. It's a very, the moment you type that down, I went, I heard about Mexico doing wonky shit. So this is one of those instances. The nice thing about being away for a week, so many subject matters can be talked about that. It's just a nice information dump to the people. Oliver Bryant says, apologies if I missed the beginning. What is the launch plan for entering Motec World? Are the limits on what Coyote Controls Jr. wants to F with? Oliver Bryan, let me ask you a question. Did you see the video where Junior talks about the Motec stuff? Yes or no? ST, the 23 plus trucks use about 3 times the amount of def as the earlier models. Calibration is the same. There isn't a separate Canadian file on Ford service site. I don't know about that. I heard different, but you could be right. Any advice for running Coyote for marine applications, specifically for jet boat? Yeah, don't do it. You think tuners fired for EPA? Wait, you think tuners fired from EPA? You think tuners fired from EPA overreach might get back pay like the military did after COVID? No, sir. The book was about tobacco. Okay. Rachel Weisz can get it. Which was Rachel Weisz. Time for Alec to get a Hellcat and go racing with Mod to Fame and win by bodyweight reduction for that smoke alarm collab. I like that. The smoke alarm collab. Very good. What did Chuck say? Hatch says, Chuck says, I mean, they are suing gun manufacturers for gun deaths. Right. And the moment that Rubicon is, I think you're going to start seeing a ship flowing uphill. For example, media companies have protection. I think Section 230. Let's talk about Section 230 because it's a media company. Section 230. And it talks about the Communications Act of 1934 protects online platforms and users from liability for content posted by others. It was enacted in 1996 as part of Communications Decency Act. So, for example, you have Twitter and somebody posts something offensive on Twitter and you are offended by that post. Section 230 protects Twitter from being sued by you being offended from that post. Same thing with newspapers, media outlets. So that Section 230 protection, I'm sure there's something similar with gun manufacturers, drug companies. Because let's be honest, there are certain drugs made by drug companies, pharma, that probably shouldn't exist, to be honest, and they're abused, and they're overprescribed opiates. Like, if you go to a doctor and you have a little bit of back pain, he'll be like, here's a highly addictive drug that fucking makes you wonk the fuck out. The world is great. You sleep like a log, and you don't want to do nothing but be on it. Ego. You know, they just overprescribe it. Why? Because pharma went in there, said you need to sell a lot of these, and opiates were prescribed left and right and abused. So I'm one of those guys that does not like to take anything because I feel like I might have an addictive personality. Like when I get into something, I get way into something. So I don't even want to broach that subject. I don't want to drink. I don't want to smoke. I don't want to party. I am more addicted right now to growing the channel, making money, making sure the customers at Lund Racing are happy. Like my main focus right now is money, and I'm chasing a lot of it to try to be as comfortable as possible because I am reaching an age where I need, a little padding just to make sure things are good. But yeah, I think certain protections should be taken away, or at least like when it comes to pharma stuff, or the people prescribing or pushing this stuff could be held liable. It's a slippery slope, though. It's a very slippery slope. Carlo says, amazing videos over the last week. It was cool to see the Black Bean and Grey Goose and Money Pit. Money Pit is one of those cars that is an interesting car to potentially vet my theory of 8s under $50,000. I think I can do it with that car specifically. I'm suing Jägermeister for the money I spent in the Dallas Strip Club. Yes, sir. Great info in the video. The Black Bean feather into TC was badass. I have more video, but let me see. Let me see what I got here. Hold, please. I got more video that I didn't publish. Let me see. So, let me see. Yeah, this is probably a good video. So he was literally tuning the traction control, right? So he was like, let me go out there and tune on the traction control because you can actually adjust the interruption. So it's throttle and spark. So exclusive to the peasant chat right here. This is some of the videos that I took at Lund Racing where Junior was doing some hooning. Did he come back? It's pretty funny to hear the spark go. Wow, wow. Yeah, I wish I had better video, but he was just beating the shit out of the car. I told him to do a dig, like from 0, and to see how much interruption. But I think he was on the paddles the whole time, and I wanted it in drive. Just smash it, see what it would do. Like the interruption, the spark cutting in and out and doing what it's supposed to do to keep the car straight was pretty interesting to hear. So I'm going to see if I have more video of that to give you guys content on. Let me see. I already played that one.
Even the spark cuts in between.
Yeah, I already played that one. That was the one on Instagram. No, that's something else. And then there's this one, I think. Okay. So this one, I think the car upshifted a lot. It didn't mean to, but it's interesting to listen to the upshifts and the spark cut because, you know, he had a couple of settings he was messing with. So you could see the car like attempt to keep traction by cutting spark and throttle and oscillating between the two quickly to keep the car going forward. But what it was actually doing there, it was upshifting. So he went in, played with some settings, and actually, you know, got the car running good. They forgot to hook up the trans fan, so the trans got a little hot. So we couldn't do a lot of testing. By the time everything was wired up and everything, it was already Friday, and I had to head back home. If we had more time and the car made less noise, I think it would have been pretty cool to do that. So the reason I ask is, the reason I asked you guys, did you watch the video? So I'm going to go to YouTube and I'm going to play the video because people ask me questions that the video answers. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a little blown away by it. Like in the video, I specifically asked Junior that question. Are you looking to support this in the future? And he answered. Let me see.
Can run. Obviously, we think it can go into the 8s, but we don't think it can go like into the 7s like it did in Texas.
If it was light, if it was as light as it was when it did that, I mean, that had a, you know, jockey in it.
Right.
I think it was like 3,600 pounds.
Right.
And go run.
Dude, imagine having like a mid-8 back and forth from the Ghost Cam to the regular idle. The change because the 6R80 is in it as opposed to the 10R80. Right. What were the challenges with hardware making it work 6R80 with the...
I think it was over here.
Tech hit me up and said, we're coming out with the controller and
let's speed it up.
Let me know if you can get a car and we'll send you one.
Right.
We're still waiting on it. I think when we got down here, they finally had one. The Mustang dealer training. Came back, we got one, put it in and did all that.
Right.
And we were like, that was kind of easy. And then we got busy, we were gonna put a blower on this, we opted not to, and then it just didn't pan out. They ended up testing with some other people, and then we decided to run with that to the Black Bean.
So this led to the Black Bean. The Black Bean then leads to the Grey Goose.
Yeah.
Do you think that helped in terms of the final tuning of the Grey Goose? Like if you didn't have this, how much more difficult would it have been to learn Mustang on the already boosted car with a 6R80 and all this stuff?
Yeah, right. If I had not started on something that was already kind of done to be able to have a running car to deal with, it would have been a lot more time consuming.
Right.
But after all, I've probably read 1,000 pages of stuff just to like try to understand everything. Because it's kind of like when we're doing OEM tuning, we have access to that part of the calibration, and we go in and try to understand everything about it. It makes it a whole lot easier to just make the definitive changes you want to do. Like
that part, you guys really like. I think a lot of people gloss over the words we use. I think people literally gloss over the words we use. He just told you that he has read over 1,000 pages of what the car is supposed to do to understand that parameter if we have access to it. You guys, there's a level of listening comprehension that really has to be heightened when you listen to someone like him and I talk. Believe it or not, I say a lot of things in code that maybe you guys just misunderstand.
Let's do that part of the calibration, and we go in and try to understand everything about it. Makes it a whole lot easier to just make the definitive changes you want to do, like intentional tuning, which is what we call it. With Motec, they have a help file that explains everything.
Oh, not just the description.
Not just the description. It says do this to do this, and then there's obviously, you know, I have help from other people. I'm asking questions just to get an idea, and then there's forums, and you just kind of go figure it out. And that's really, it started on this, got it working pretty good. It was 2 years ago, so I had to start over a little bit, but it all came back quick. And then it was really as I was building the files. So like over Christmas, I was just, you know, spare time I'd go play with Motec.
Right.
And then once you get with a car, it kind of like brings those ideas. You know, did this work? Oh, it worked. That didn't work. And then you have to go back and.
So it is interesting because there's 3 vastly different cars, right? From a visual standpoint and an actual setup standpoint, but there's correlation, right? You can correlate what you did to the black car and then what you did to the black car to a 6-second car.
Correct.
And you're using similar firmware and it'll help you kind of get there. So a lot of people, and this is what I preach to a lot of people in my audience, I go, you have to make the initial investment. If not, I don't know how the hell you do it. Like how do you tune a 21 F-150 if you don't own a 21 F-150? You know, so that's why I've always wondered.
Right. So, you know, again, the listening comprehension needs to be, you know, really dialed in, because how can you tune the car and have an actual understanding if you don't have the car?
And I wanted to talk about like how this led you to the Black Bean, how the Black Bean leads you to the Grey Goose. Right. Now, Do you ever want to support this kind of stuff for
Again, guys, listen to this part.
like external customers?
Yeah.
That's something you want to get into?
Yeah, I know it's a small market, but I think that, like I was telling you, with the customer that wants those features, where they have traction control, a legit traction control.
Yeah, because this interrupts exactly like a GTR interrupts. Like,
you would call it proactive traction control.
Okay.
And I think
Not reactive.
It's more reactive, like way reactive.
Right.
Okay, and I guarantee you guys, and I really hate to harp on the normies that don't know what that means. And anyway, I'll just I can sit here and pick this whole thing apart. Proactive versus reactive. Do you even know what the fuck that means? I know it's of course we do, Alex. Okay, but the ones that don't, OEM traction control is reactive. What it means is something happens and it reacts to that happening. Proactive is we set a target. This is the target, and it tries to constantly meet that acceleration target. Proactive. Before an interruption might happen, it anticipates an interruption based on the ramp acceleration rate you want or the front wheel speed sensor, and it is a proactive traction control. Reactive traction control goes, oh, it spun, slams the throttle shut, kills spark, kills fuel, shuts throttle, then once it meets a traction setting it likes, then it ramps it back in very slowly. That is reactive. That video, for the people that really understand English and understand words, answers all of your questions. Well, does he want to support it? Did you see the video? How does the traction control work? Proactive, reactive. Did you see the, so that's why sometimes I go, I answered all of these questions in a video. Like, I've answered most questions in a video. I knew he said that. I didn't know if there was a limit. Coyote, no, it doesn't matter. Traction control is traction control. And at the end of the day, Motec is Motec, and Motec doesn't care what transmission is behind it. I love how you got people asking about the Terminator that was in the background. Yeah, like the Terminator's not. I love Senior, great guy. That Terminator is going to sit in that state for a long time. Love you, Senior. I don't think that Corva's moving anytime soon. It should be sold as is. As is. He wants to put cams in it. He wants to make it smoother for the next guy. Fuck that. Let him do that. Let him do that work. Sell the car as is to somebody. Not me, because it's not going to be a good car for content. At this point, I'm buying vehicles that have content potential. People like to hear reviews after the fact, so that's probably why they ask, not saying it right, though. I had a kid with a modded single cab 5.0, wanted to get a warranty coverage on his 5.0 engine. Ford found the YouTube video and denied his claim. Our Prime Minister is a carbon tax loving, self-proclaimed feminist environmentalist. Can't wait till he is gone. It's not going to be gone, JC Decker. You're going to have him for another fucking 5 years or whatever the fuck it is. Trust me. Because 30% is all it takes to vote in a new Prime Minister. You and Junior were speaking in ones and zeros, but I enjoyed the video. I got the gist of it. When 20K Motec PMP package going on the website, so it's $7,500 to $8,000 just for the hardware. Understand, guys, this shit ain't for you. Unless you got deep pockets, Motec equipped newer vehicles is not for you. Now, do you want badass roll racing traction control? It might be for you. Do you want badass adjustability on 1,500 to 2,000 horse and true flex fuel tuning? If you want that stuff, true flex fuel stuff, it's probably for you. Do you have insanely deep pockets and you want all the nannies and 10 different maps of traction adjustable on the steering wheel? It's probably for you. Do you want ghost cam on the fly? It's not for you. It's not for you. I understood the lingo. Motec the Terminator? No, fuck no. Never, ever Motec the Terminator. He said, good morning. Hope your week was refreshing. Refreshing, he says. We're the poors. We love to be spoon-fed. Type in 6R80 Cobra. Alex video on that car. See, people go, tell me about the Cobra. 6R80 Cobra. Type it in. I talk about it. I drive it. I tune it. I put on the dyno, made 1,000. Stop it. We deny claims all the time, but we have loans you can take out through us. Yeah, it's interesting. How are the computers in the 2012 GT500 due? Did they break off in flashing tunes? No. I flashed back to stock years ago. Runs great. I want to flash back custom tune again. No. If you have a good battery, if you don't have any interruption, if you're tuning a known file, typically they don't break per se. Definitely not unreasonable for what you get for adjustability. Yeah, so you got to understand, like, the problem is this. Let's say, for instance, you're a Motec GT500 guy. So there are limitations of what you can do. If you see what Fat House is doing with their Mustangs, their packages, badass. You're going to pay big money, twin turbo. They have an 800 horsepower package, Motec, but there are limitations. At the end of the day, there are still limitations, hardware limitations. And yeah, maybe you have some saucy trans stuff, but that's TCM related. That's typically more on the side of Tremec, providing you access to those parameters. Again, Motec still has to have access to those parameters. It's not like Motec is a end all be all and all of a sudden it fixes all of the Tremec issues. Motec still has to have access to those parameters, and Tremec is not giving out access to all of its shit. When transmissions start breaking because of clamping force, I don't know how else to say this. When transmissions start breaking because of clamping force is when you have the saucy shit in there. When 10 R80s start breaking because of clamping force, then you can say, okay, now let's make whatever broke stronger. But until then, I don't fucks with any of those transmissions. The 6R80 breaks because of clamping force. You break intermediate shafts, you break gears, you break planetaries. This thing explodes shit because it does not have issues with clamping force. Definitely not unreasonable for you guys in adjustability. We have deep pockets for you guys that need some. I understand that a lot of R&D went into the Grey Goose 6R80, but it's still insane that its limit might be 2,300 horsepower. Junior's comment about 10 hertz versus 100 hertz are crazy eye-opening. See, the funny thing is that was Senior. That was Senior. I'm a bit new to the Senior and Junior. I'm a bit new to the channel. Sorry, you've been asked this already, but what happened to your white Gen 3? It got sold, and that guy sold it to somebody else, and that person bagged it. And as far as I know, it's out and about, still kicking ass because it was a good little car. If anyone's going to be T1 at UGR, okay, if someone is going to be T1 and UGR at M Roll Race Motec Twin Turbo is probably the only way you're going to set a record for a half mile. Will it happen in a Mustang though? I don't think so. So I think the S550 chassis is extremely good and has gone sixes, IRS, cool. Is it a world beater when it comes to the GTR and UGR stuff? No. Those cars either have all-wheel drive, a very badass billet DCT, or rear engine. So they have awesome grip potential, better aerodynamics, higher RPM capabilities. So, okay, at the limit, what would it take for a car, Mustang, whether it's any Coyote? So let's say like Brett's car, you guys go, Brett's car. That is a full-blown race car, okay? It's skin on top of a tube chassis. So again, not taking anything away. That is not, a car you can just put together in your driveway. That is a professionally built race car. So if that car was configured to roll race, I don't know how it would do unless it had crazy aero. Most of these cars go to events that have limited grip, and it's a front engine rear wheel drive car with a turbo 400, where these other cars have Motec, DCT, heavy interruptions on shifts, billet stuff. So if a domestic guy was going to go after roll race stuff, look at what Vipers are doing. Okay, Vipers are pretty badass, but they're heavy and they are just behind the Billy Badass UGR and Lambo and GTR T1 stuff and R8 stuff, let's be honest. So I think it'll be real difficult to do it in any Mustang chassis, meaning be a meaningful 210 up mile an hour roll race Mustang that's viable. I think it'll be real difficult because most of them are rear-wheel drive, set up for drag racing, and I don't think you have the aero, the support, the chassis, the drive line for that kind of build, in my opinion. EPA working 12 hours overtime because of those budget cuts. EPA's in the house. Isn't Oliver Bryan the guy who loves ML? I don't think so. The Viper took third place, though. I think if someone gets serious, it could happen. Only watched a video with a senior about Grey Goose. Explain to me how much work it actually takes on top of money. And this is a senior built car. FFRA built the motor. PBH built the trans. Everything. Blacklist did the chassis. Or Profab, one of those two. And everything else was done by senior, meaning the wiring, the oil pump configuration, fuel pump configuration, AMS, all of everything, the turbo kit with Ryan Eckhart coming in and vetting that. Dude, it was like all built in-house except the big stuff, the chassis, the motor, and trans. Senior could build the trans though. It would probably need to make 2,500 to the tire with a Liberty 5-speed. No, it would need like a DCT or a heavy interrupting transmission. It needs a lot of gears, not just one long gear. The Liberty 5-speed, I think you need some kind of slip or major traction interruption happening. You see what Vipers do. Vipers have heavy aero, and I think that hurts their top speed. Like an ACR Viper has like crazy aero. Have you ever seen a Viper dual roll race and those things are slammed at the back? I'm saying the ass end is absolutely being buried to the tarmac because of the aero, and it hurts the top end. So you kind of need someone to just build a $500,000 car to go up against the UGR T1 guys. It's just real difficult to do, and I don't think a domestic vehicle can do it. Believe it or not, the aero and like a Corvette might be able to do it, but the power, like for example, a C6 ZR1 like I have, could be a badass roll car. And if, once the Coyote goes in there and gets vetted, it'll be primarily a roll car because I'm not going to dig race that car with a 230 first gear. Blow shit up. I'm good. It'll be mostly a roll car. But it will never be an elite roll car unless it has an FFRE motor, Peterson oil pump, badass T56 or TR6060 faceplated situation, and Motec for the traction control and interruption. And it needs to make 2,000 horse, and it might go 200 miles an hour in the roll race event at Texas 2K because it has the aero. It's light. It's got the big meats under it and the space for the big meats. But I'm just not looking to put $300,000 into a car that you can only. No, I want to drive it, make 850, 900 tops. Go fours, 60 to 130, and I'm a happy cat because I am way past the point of, swinging my dick at events. And I don't have the money, let's be honest. Haven't been since COVID, says Jeff Sharp. What's up, brother? Yep, the downforce is insane. True. Unloading the 5-speed is basically an aborted run. Right. The moment you go whoop, that on a 2,000 horse car, it needs to go whoop, 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 whoop. Like when you hear a roll race car at TX2K, it's just, crazy. TX2K. 2K roll race Viper, let's say TX or a Turbo 400 roll race Viper. And I think Nth Moto has the really pretty gray one. Yeah, this thing. Oh, come on, let's just get to it. Here we go. This is the silliest Viper I've ever seen. Let's be honest. In my opinion, because there's no fact. It's just opinion. I think this is the nastiest Viper out there right now. I mean, that's what it takes. It takes a 2,000 plus horsepower car, heavy aero. Funny thing is, let me see if I could zoom in to see what the rear end was doing.
214, damn.
Who's behind the camera? Oh, yeah, okay, that's all I did. I'm like, fuck me. Well, there it is. This, and I think this Viper also goes 6s, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I mean, the car roll races, runs a 214, drag races, and it runs a 670. So when you go to Texas 2K in a couple of weeks, look out for that car. That is the baddest Viper around, in my opinion. Turbo 400, Billy badass. If I'm not mistaken, it has stock fronts like with R888s, right? Like it has like yeah. Look at the front wheel and tire combo on this car. Nothing, no bell axe, no thin. No, it's just like a forged line wheel, and the rear looks like a bell axe. I mean, that car, 6-second car, 214 in the roll. Imagine, so for a Mustang to be able to be built to that capacity is very difficult. Are you planning on working on the belt situation today? So there is a belt already on the GT500 working. I'm getting boost to the GT500. What I'm working on now, and I'll be honest with you, is idle. The throttle bodies, I think, because you're going one wire into two, essentially, there's a bit of a situation where idle stability is difficult. So I'm going to work on that. But before I work on the tuning, I'm going to replace the throttle bodies. I bought 2 new throttle bodies just to make sure that mechanically the throttle bodies are not an issue. So I'm going to vet that with OEM throttle bodies, put them in there. If it still has an idle issue, I'm going to forget about trying to get the idle worked out, and I'm going to do wide open throttle stuff, wide open throttle testing, try to go out to the street, a strip somewhere. I got to register the car and do wide open throttle testing on the GT500, see if I can make 12 pounds of boost, low compression illuminator, see if the cam position is happy, and get data and video, because I owe Magnuson video content. So I'm going to do my best to get that going, and for you guys too. But I got to register the car first, so I don't want to drive dirty and get caught and then have to tow the car back. That'd be pretty embarrassing. Born to Race was a good car movie. No, it wasn't. It was awful. With Richard Grieco, it was awful. They have a 6.02 Viper also, and it still sees a ton of street miles. Good morning, says Matthew Nichols. I just woke up because I'm lazy, bitch. Can you start over? The Viper back half, damn, only rears. Joe, that's Kratos. Okay, so whatever. I don't know the car's name. I just see that Viper and I go, okay, that Viper is the baddest motherfucker out there. So, I don't think you'll see it. I know Cameron, he's a Lund-tuned guy. I think he has an FFRE motor, and I think it's a Turbo 400. It's the closest 200 mile an hour Mustang at a roll race event. Shout out to him, because, someone's got to try it. And Supras are not there. Let's be honest. Mach Four, I think. Fuck me. I don't know shit about Supras. I hate Mach 4 Supra. Mach 4 Supras don't do that, right? Have you seen a Mach 4 Supra run 200 miles an hour in the roll race event at TX2K? And if you have, then my mistake. But I haven't seen one, personally. Have you seen a loan? Okay, Alex, if you need a car for a loan, hit me up. Says Brothers Bank LLC. I'm good on that. Thank you very much, Brothers Bank. Is there any way idle off of one throttle body? So that's what we're at. So basically, the problem is that you'd have to mechanically disconnect or electronically disconnect one throttle body, but the car's looking for throttle area, 2 throttle bodies. So there is ways of fooling it, but Jocko Bell, that takes time. It takes so much time to find it, figure it out, build it, prove it out. It's difficult. What if you set the new Corvette ZR1 quarter mile record, Alex? Does that end the boosted LS versus boosted Coyote debate? So the record ZR1, again, that's ZR1. That does not mean C6. Okay, there have been 6-second C6s out there. So again, semantics. Do you count that as a C6 record if it's a tube chassis car? Whatever. I would say that if I had a Coyote in the car with a big blower, a Glide or a 400, which they do sell a conversion for the ZR1, I go out there and run a 780 because I think the current record is 7.9. ZR1 guys would not count it as a record because it doesn't have an LS in it. There are still people out there, for example, that, okay, is the ZR1 the chassis or is it the motor? Is it an LS9 record or is it a chassis? So this is the problem. So a lot of people, let's say, what is the quickest Mustang record? Okay, it's just the body at that point because you're saying the Mustang. It overtakes transmission, motor, whatever. So if there's a Mustang out there with a Proline Hemi going, 570, okay, that's the quickest street Mustang ever. So if you take a ZR1 that has a Coyote in it, big blower, turbo 400, run a 7.8, ZR1 guys would not recognize that record because they would only recognize a LS9 record. That's my opinion. Would I think I have the quickest ZR1 on the planet if I run quicker than the 7.9? I would say I would say I probably have the, technically I would have the quickest ZR1 because it's a ZR1, not an LS9. So technically it would be, but I don't think it'll end the Coyote versus LS argument. Brett's car pretty much ended that argument a little bit ago. FFRE ended that. The Grey Goose ended that argument that the Coyote is better than the LS. because we're using a factory block sleeve. And I don't know that there are any factory wet deck sleeve stock as cast from not an LSR. I'm saying a 60, 53, 48, 62 sleeve factory cast. Do whatever you got to do. Put concrete in the motherfucker. I don't care. I don't think a lot of them have gone bottom sixes. Call me crazy. Yeah, you need a clean Fox notch in your life. I need garages. Cameron Fisher went 198. Exactly. That's what I mean. He is the closest to 200. I need some rears for the AMG. Theo, you buying that Holly ECU Coyote Swap hatchback? If the sale falls through, I'll pick it up, but I think it already sold. Cameron Fisher is the only hope for the roll racing with the Mustangs. The Cope is going to be hilarious, though. If anything, Alex would have so many haters if he broke the record in a Coyote Swap Corvette. The problem is the investment. What does it take to run sevens in a C6 ZR1? 1100 or 1200 rear wheel horsepower, a turbo 400. What is a turbo 400 swap for a C6? Turbo 400 C6 conversion. Probably $20,000, right? RPM transmissions. Yeah. Request quote. Yeah, it's like an integrated diff in the bitch. It's not like, is it Reed 400? Torque tube, and he still needs it's a torque tube situation still, right? Then you got the fucking diff, and then you got the axles coming out. Request quote. Fuck my ass. Price. Let's do Google price. RPM. Cost of turbo 400 swap. Blah blah blah. For sale. RPM turbo 400 conversion. Corvette forum. Okay. Here we go. $18,000. Okay, believe it or not, that's not bad. Call me crazy. That's not bad. For a billet, internal, 1400 horse, all the shit, that's actually not a bad price. So you're looking at about $18,000, which is basically like a fully built T56 with a badass clutch, right? Like that's kind of like, so yeah, it's not cheap. Bunch of money. Alex, what happened to the Sus Racing channel? Are you fucking retarded? You think I'm just going to start making content ASAP? Got a job, a life. This channel. 4 cars I got to build. Relax. If it ever happens, it'll happen when I want it to happen. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Haters would bring views, though. I'm not looking to do that. It's not my goal to make people mad. My goal is to have a car that I like. And to me, a car that goes 460 to 130 has AC, all the creature comforts, and I can drive it from here to California and back on pump fuel, whether it's T85 or pump gas. That's desirable to me. The rest, fuck that. Forget the rest of the shit. He's got to write a script too. Right, exactly. Like people think it's just like put the camera on something and go. Yeah, okay. It's not that easy to make content. Like the guy yesterday at the dyno. By the way, Area 51, I had no idea they even had a HUD dyno there. Area 51 Motorsports over in Delray. Sorry, Lake Worth. Bro, badass. Badass facility. So, if you ever need a dyno rented out, hit them up. The Hub Dyno, they put your car up on it, and you just make pulls. They set it up. They set up the software. You literally just make pulls, and I'm like, boy, that's pretty badass. So anyway, while all of that happened, I was making video, and the owner of the Fox wasn't aware that I was making video. Then at night, we went out to dinner, hung out for a little bit. We wanted to catch up on some stuff that the car is doing, so we, plan ahead. He's like, he saw the video in full while we were waiting for our food, and he was like, I had no idea you made this. And I had no idea this is how you envision it, produce it, edit it, and put it out there. I go, yeah, it's a process. So the Sus Racing channel doesn't just grab a camera and start grabbing strangers and start making gay comments to them. That's just not how it works. Sigma thinks Elon Musk. He's Elon Musk demanding an email from what Alex completed for the week. Yeah, exactly. I'm hyped to see it run. I always want to see the boosted Coyote in a light chassis that handles. The handling thing is sus. I don't think the Corvette handles. I mean, it handles okay. Hopefully this year you won't get burned with too expensive motors, right? When you're going to buy back the Ford Galaxy. Crazy stuff. All right, guys. Nice to be back. Peasant Chat, got you guys caught up on everything that's happening. Talked about the Mustang 4-door and how Ford stepped on its own dick by making a Mustang Mach-E with 4 doors, and now they're going to make a Mach 4 with 4 doors, and people are just going to be in for confusion. And will Mustang stem off as its own brand, making Mustang variants, and have Ford be, you know, kind of like Lincoln did? It was a Ford product, but Lincoln had its own thing, and I wonder if Mustang is going to do the same thing. We talked about the EPA cutting 60% of its budget so that they can be more lean and mean. And we talked about Hennessy being hilariously offering yet another Whipple supercharged Mustang for the masses, saying that they have custom calibration and all this honky-dory bullshit. Okay, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I am going to try to install the transmission in Donnie today. That's right. Got the transmission back. I'm going to try to install that transmission today. I don't think I'm going to get it done today because if I bust my ass, I usually end up paying for it later. I'm going to go to the gym right now, get a workout in, eat, and if I feel like working on Donnie's transmission, I'll work on it later in the afternoon. Try to get it up in the car, bolted in, and then work on the accessories over the week because killing myself under a car is getting old real fast. All right, guys, have a good rest of your Sunday. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Talking to Tuesday. We'll hang out then. Talk to you guys later. Bye.